Hello, everybody. So I yesterday took part in the London Marathon, and it was no mere thing to do. It's beating the hell out of me. So I'm a bit stiff this morning. I'm a little bit knackered, if I'm honest with you. But look, I actually completed. There's the medal I got. How amazing is that? Now I got home and I felt quite proud of myself that I'd accomplished this massive challenge, etc. And then I decided to watch Apex, starring Charlize Strong and Taron Egerton. And I realised that I had done nothing the day that during the London Marathon because this movie, Charlize Strong, goes through absolute hell. So I have got nothing to moan about when it comes to my achiness. This film it's a great like psychological sort of like thriller almost wrapped up in this like almost horror movie in parts. So the story of this is that Charlene Theron, she's a partner dies at the very beginning of the film, so it's not really a spoiler. We are going to do spoilers about halfway through the video, by the way. So the first half of the video will be spoiler free. I'll then let you know when spoilers come, and then we can like talk more spoilery stuff. But for now, it's going to be spoiler free. So this is just started streaming on Netflix. It's a straight to Netflix movie, which, if I'm honest with you, should have gone to the cinema. This is a film that would have done really, really well at the cinema. I don't know why it didn't go in there because you've got the star power of Charlize Strong and Taron Egerton. Great actors, great star power. I have no idea why it did not hit the cinemas. It makes no sense. It's such a silly thing. But it's gone straight to Netflix, and I sat down to watch this film, thinking it's going to be another little Netflix film. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It had me on the edge of my seats at the time. I was wondering where it was going to go in places. This is a stunning, stunning movie. Especially for a Netflix movie. It deserves a bit more than like it should have gone to cinema. So the story is basically about Charlize Theron is one of these mountain climber, rock climber type people. And at the very beginning of the film, you see she's climbing with I don't know if it's a husband or a boyfriend, whatever. They're climbing up, Eric Banner as well. They're climbing up this mountain and something goes wrong. He slips and falls and basically passes away. So now she is then going to go to Australia where he's from, take his ashes back and scatter them in Australia. So then we get her in Australia, sort of on her own, backpacking to try and get to the place where she wants to get to. And she comes across some dodgy people while she's in a shop. And it seems like these dodgy people are kind of following her. And she sort of goes a certain route. And then you get this whole psychological game of like, is someone following, aren't they? Then you realise that they are. And she sort of has to get away from them. She's using the skills she knows from her survival sort of stuff and her mountain climbing and all that to try and escape them. And then the film goes mental. The film goes absolutely mental, and it almost turns into a horror movie because it just, oh my God. But I will say up to now, right? So obviously, still no spoilers yet. Very well acted, this movie. Taron Egerton is a phenomenal actor anyway. You've probably seen him in the Kingsman movies, in the Elton John movie where he played Elton John. He was in the Eddie Edwards movie, played Eddie the Eagle. Very good character actor. In this, no different. Charlize Theron plays this like badass female, but she shows vulnerability as well. And it is such a great performance from her. Like she's like when you see her in films, she's always plays like a tough sort of character, like a Fast and Furious. She's like the bad guy, tough one. In trying to think of films I've seen her in. Mad Max. Was she in Mad Max? No, she wasn't. Anyway, so everything I've seen her, she always plays sort of tougher sort of female. This, no different. She's super tough in this, and she's got that look about her as well. Like she could like take some punishment. Phenomenal movie, great camera work, great filming, great all the effects look pretty good for a Netflix movie. There's some of the effects where doing like the water and stuff, and you think, oh, that's been green screen. There's a few green screen shots that you can tell are green screen. But I don't know why CM Punk just popped on the thing. I'll turn that off. But a very, very, very good movie. Great story, great twists, and great one of these films where you kind of have an idea of where it's going, and it goes there, and it gets worse, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect it to go this hard and this deep, and then it just sort of like explodes into this like nasty sort of situation. And so I kind of want to get into spoilers now because I'm just mumbling away now trying to think of how to end this bit. So I'm going to get into spoilers now. So if you haven't seen this movie, go on Netflix, watch the movie. Please come back to the video and you can see what I thought of it and the more in-depth sort of stuff. So we're starting now with spoilers. So I've warned you, we are on spoilers now. So this movie, oh my God. So as I said, at the start of it, you've got Eric Bana and Charlize Theron. They're climbing up a cliff and he slips and falls. And because he's hanging off and he hits his head, he's got like dead weight on her. It's actually pulling her. So it's like a tandem rock climb. Personally, I'd never rock climb because I don't like heights, and I think it's a silly idea to go up there. So he's sort of hanging off, and she's slowly getting like a clip slowly getting pulled away because obviously he's dead weight and her like leaning back. So she sort of makes that ultimate decision. She's got to cut him loose or she's going to die. He could already be dead because he smacked his head anyway, but she's like, I have to let him go. So she unclips and lets him fall and die. So she's ravaged by guilt from that, but at the same time, it's because she had to do it because otherwise they're both dead. So we get the situation where that's going on. She then goes to Australia. Now, when she gets to Australia, she goes to the outback part of Australia. Now, that's obviously a very sort of like desolate place. But she goes to this shop before she leaves, and there's some creepy guys in the shop sort of trying to talk to her. Real sort of like a bit weird. And then you got this Taughan Edgerton comes in. He's sending his beef jerky to the shop people. And he's really friendly. He's like, he sort of like pushes these two creepy guys away and says to her, look, I know a bit of a shorter cut to where you want to go. If you want to try this, gets the map out. Says, look, if you go this way, it'll be a bit easier for you. And it's a really nice view and you'll quite enjoy it. So she's quite happy with that. And she sort of follows his advice and goes. While she's camping out, the creepy guys from the shop turn up again. And they sort of they park up pretty much next to her. They try and talk to her, and actually locks herself in the car and sort of stays inside of her, like she's got a camper van thing, because she doesn't want no part of it. And then she goes off again, camps a little bit, does a bit of canoeing and that. And then she comes back to her camp. She finds out some stuff's gone missing from her camp. So she's a little bit weird what's going on. And then Taughan Edgerton turns up again. And she bumps into him. And he's like, oh, hello, like chatting away to her. And then the movie takes a twist and a turn. Because it turns out he is the real life stalker person. And he's going to be coming after her. And then you get this cat and mouse game where she's trying to escape him. And he's like coming after her. So you get like, it's almost like a game to him at first. It turns out he claims it's like a ritual in some points. But he's got her tied up and he's like, right, you're going to go now. I'm going to give you, to the time I finish this song. So I was playing a song on his phone. So by the time this song finishes, I'm then going to come after you. He's got a crossbow. And it's her running through the woods, trying to get away from him, trying to find a way out. And he's stalking her throughout the woods. It's part of like a hunting game. And he does actually, eventually comes across her. And he ends up capturing her. Because there's a real cool scene where she's trying to get away from him. And she's trying to get onto this boat. And then she ends up getting like a leg trapped in a bear trap. Because he set traps up around the boat. And then he's got over and he captures her. And this is where this movie goes into full-on horror movie. Because they're both in... He takes her back to this cave. And it turns out he's been doing this for a while. And random tourists will come into that area to experience the outback of Australia. He's chasing them down, capturing them, stringing them up in a cave. And then there he's beef jerky stuff that he's making. So he's been making it out of human beings and selling it in the shop. And she'd even eaten part of this because she bought a pack of his beef jerky as well. And she'd eaten part of this as well. So she didn't know she's just eating a person, which is messed up. But like he gets them, he puts this like salt brine stuff on them and that, leaves them hanging so they dry out and cure, and then he's gone. But he's actually hunting people. You actually see the bodies of like children that he killed as well, because he's hunted families as well. This man is nuts. And he sits her down, he sort of gets her in there and he starts telling her sort of like, oh, it's a tradition I have. And he's actually filed his teeth down, because he mentioned like some tribes they file their teeth down. He's filed his teeth into spikes. He's got like a guard over it so it doesn't look like he's got spiked teeth. He's like does this all the time. This is part of what he does. It is really, really creepy. And his portrayal of this psycho nutter character is phenomenal. Earlier on in the movie, there's this scene where he's talking to Charlize Theron about like the ritual and all this stuff. And he just sort of goes back into the tent like this. And the way the light, whoever directed this is amazing, because the way the light is on his face, he just sort of disappears into the tent. It's such a phenomenal scene. But yeah, everything he does then becomes really creepy. Like when he's chasing around the wood, he does this like howl sort of thing every so often. It's really creepy, like ow, like, as he's chasing around the thing. It's just brilliant. So she's trapped in the cave, and she's got to work her way to get out. And she basically manages to get herself out of the cave, gets away from him a little bit, but they're kind of like tied together because she's got his handcuffs on where he's been handcuffing her. She manages to bite his ear part of it off, get away, but he like attaches himself to the rope that she's handcuffed to. It's quite a long rope, and then going down through this like rapids and water stuff. This is where I see some of it looked a bit CGI. But like they're in the water and like she's trying to sort of float along. He's behind her, hang on to this. He whacks his head, and they sort of end up in this like pool bit over. After they got, I mean, to be honest with you, these people should be dead. This is one of those things where you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, because these people should be dead. No if, no but, they are dead from this like rapids they go through without any protection or anything like that on. They go over this waterfall and it's sheer drop down. They come out and he's been knocked out because he's hit his head on the rock. And she goes to try and grab a big rock and like smack him over the head with it. And I like this scene because she's wading towards it. She realizes it's too deep. She can't really get the rock up. She's like, what? Messes it. And she tries to get onto the landing, tries to get herself out of the handcuffs. And he wakes up, pulls her in. They have a big old brawl. And she ends up getting a rock and breaking his leg to the point where the bone comes through the shin. And I was like, oh, like that. And then I was thinking, like, well, where does this movie go from here? Because they're both laying on a beach, like she's knackered and like just not feeling great after what she's been through. He's got a broken leg, so they're both just laying there, attached to each other still by handcuffs. They lay there for a bit, and then they start talking, and she says to him, "Look, how far is it to walk out of here?" And he says, "It's like 12 days walk," and she's like, "I can't survive that." And then she says, "If like we got to climb that rock." And because she's an expert climber, and he's like, I've got a broken leg, like, and she goes, we need to do it tandem. We need to both do it to get out. So we need to help each other. And it's a weird moment where they sort of like have to work together, even though he's trying to kill her. He's like, it's like hunter and prey, and they have to work together to get out of this situation. And he says to her, like, if you don't mess me about, I'll let you free at the top. Like, I'll just let you go. I won't chase after you. I won't do anything. I mean, now, bear in mind, he just snapped his shin bone in half. And this again, we have to suspend your disbelief because she's then like, well, so I could set up this like rigging for you and we can get up the thing. And you see him like walking on crutches. There's no way when your leg has been snapped in half, you've got zero pain relief that you can walk on crutches with a broken leg. And he's like doing the whole like the like that. And it's like, no way, you couldn't be able to move with that broken leg. But again, you suspend your disbelief a bit. So then they're going up this sheer face cliff, and I was like looking like, no way. Because when you see how high up they're getting, there's like vultures circling below them because they're so high up. I was like, no way. It kind of like, it wouldn't happen, but I was still enjoying the movie. You know, it was like, it was taking me out of it a little bit because I'm thinking this is preposterous. They can't do this. Still enjoyable. So he gets halfway up and he says to her, if I see you trying to disconnect or anything, I'm going to drag you off this cliff. So at one point she does try and sort of sneaky does it. He drags her off the cliff. She sort of hangs off. And he's holding on to her, and she gets back on, goes up. She gets to a point where she sort of goes up one of those overhangs. So when you got the cliff that's kind of sort of goes up straight that, and it sort of overhangs like that. She has to sort of climb over that, gets to the top, and he's down the bottom, and she's sort of trying to get a foothold in. And then she realises he can't see her anymore. So she gets his rope, ties her around this old tatty looking tree, and then she gets like starts to undo her harness, and he works out what she's up to. So he starts trying to drag her off. She's like about to go over, grabs onto the tree as well, about to go over, and then luckily where she's undone most of the harness, it goes. So she's now free, climbs herself back up, looks at him, and she undoes the rope. And this is how they kill him off. Now I was kind of disappointed by this because I wanted to see a lot more from like her fighting him and her killing him off. So she basically undoes the rope and just like pulls it and then lets him go. And he falls and like splats onto the floor. Now I will give him credit that normally when you see this happen, you don't actually see it happen. You see him go, and then it's like, poof, right. They show you him hit the fling, and then they show you a close-up a few minutes later. He's all swollen up, he's all like on the floor, like gone. That was a great scene. I didn't expect him to show that. And there was still a bit more of the movie. Now, this is the bit where I was kind of like, this movie's now going on a bit too much. So you see she's obviously got to make up the cliff, so then she rock climbs up the cliff. And I'd have liked to have sort of almost end it there. Like she's done it, she survived it. But they keep going a bit more. So then you see her getting off the cliff. She goes walking through the jungle and this car comes up behind her. And I had a feeling it was going to be the creepy guys from the start of the movie that might actually help her out, and she was wrong to judge them the way she did. But you see that this couple get out of the car and they're like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, just take me to whatever. She ends up going back to the police station and she goes up to the missing board. There's loads of missing people on this board. And the police officer comes out to her and goes, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I know where they are. I know where they all are. Because it's obviously the cave that he was hanging all up in to like cook the meat and that. And then you get this little like montage of news broadcasting things where the police obviously go into the cave, find all the bodies. They've exposed it. They say there's like 20 odd bodies. It could have been going on for longer. But all the people that have gone missing in that area, they always put it down to the terrain, wildlife. That's probably why they've gone missing and died. But it's been him the whole time, killing people. It's Taika Waititi's character, killing people the whole time. It is a crazy, messed up movie. And then at the very end, you didn't see her driving away. She scatters the ashes, end of the movie. And I thought, Joel, that was a pretty good movie. I would have added a bit more to it. I'd have done a lot more with him and her together in the cave, a lot more, because he was doing so good at this like psychotic character. And she was doing so good at trying to sort of work with and against him That would have been nicer to see that fleshed out a bit more. I'd have liked to see more of the end between the battle between the two of them. Maybe have that go over a few more stages. Like we also had the stage by the lake where she breaks his leg. Maybe there could have been a couple more stages in that fight. And then the ending, she sort of lets him go and he just drops down. I kind of want to, even though it would have been unbelievable, maybe if he didn't fall that far and then he grabs her at the top of the cliff and she makes him knock him off the end. Just saying a bit more, flesh it out a little bit more. The ending was all right, but I think it just went on a little bit too long after I'm a big fan of when the monster's dead, the movie's over. I'm a massive fan of that fame. So once he died, it's kind of like that's it, but it kept going on a little bit more. Maybe they could have shrunk that down a little bit, but I like the fact we got to see that she went to the police station and it sorted it all out. But not a bad movie. Obviously called Apex because it's the old Apex Predator thing, like Predator and Prey thing. But a decent enough movie to sit and watch on like a night when you're bored and that. It's like I said, it's on Netflix. It's a straight to Netflix movie. You couldn't really do a sequel to it. It's like one and done. They'll probably do a sequel somewhere else, someone different, that sort of thing. But or a prequel to see him like where he started maybe. But like not a bad movie at all. Like well done to both actors. There's some scenes where that Tyrone Edgerton, he's literally like beating the hell out of her and choking her out and that. Real physical scenes, like he's choking. You can see her face is going blue. So it's almost like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but to me it was like he was really, really choking her to get her face to go blue. Maybe she like allowed it in the thing, because it looks pretty bloody real when he's doing it. It's not like a makeup special effect. He looks so real. He's got by the throat like that, and you can see her eyes are going like bloodshot and like her face is turning a bit blue. And he's like, he looks so evil. I would like to have seen him made more of the teeth thing, because obviously he's got these filed down teeth. And I'd like to have seen him sort of like bite her at one point, like proper like bite her, because that would have sort of added a bit more to it, I think, that was the drama, and give it a point to the teeth, because you sort of see them at one point. He then puts the gums, these like fake teeth back on top, and you don't see it again. And it's like, well, what was the point of doing that? Like, I would have liked to have seen them used as a weapon at some point. Like, that's why he does it. But yeah, it is a good film, and I'll recommend you watching it. But you kind of have to suspend your disbelief at some of the stuff happening in it, and you'll very much enjoy this movie. Well, I hope you've liked this review, and I'll see you soon. And obviously, if you ever get a chance to run the London Marathon, I really suggest you do, because it is such a fun time out. It really is. You get to like run through the streets of London. It feels like the whole of London is there cheering you on. It's such a great thing, great atmosphere, great feeling. It was a bit hot, I ain't gonna lie, it was a bit too hot for me to be running in. There are drinks and stuff along the way, so you can hydrate, but still it's like, oh. And today I hurt, my legs are hurting. I think one of my toenails is pulled up as well, which is not a nice thing. Oh, but anyway guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you all very, very soon for more movie reviews. I do a lot of trailer reactions on this channel. I also do a lot of movie related stuff like unboxings and stuff like that. So please keep watching the channel, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye. My voice is gone now. Bye.